Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome. Today is a triple dhamaka for me. First of all, we are celebrating Women's Day, and being a woman, I enjoy the activity. Thank you. Secondly, professionally, I am a recruiter, and today we celebrate Recruiters Day. So again, celebration for me. And most importantly, we and Dr. Kishwar Joonas should be celebrating our golden jubilee of our friendship. Our friendship has stood the test of time and distance. Let me introduce Kishwar publicly and professionally. Dr. Kishwar Joonas earned a doctorate in marketing at Louisiana Tech University in August 2004, MMS from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, and BCom from Bombay University Siddham College. Dr. Joonas has since past 18 years taught face-to-face and online marketing courses, graduate and undergraduate courses in College of Business at Altitude A&M University. Also, Dr. Joonas is certified audited quality master's professor. Her teaching forte is in student engagement, in team service learnings and research. Her research interests include customer behavior, international and cross-cultural issues, health and environmental marketing, management information system and marketing education. Dr. Joonas's excellence is extremely validated and recognized. She was a winner of international awards such as Association of Collegiate Marketing Outstanding Educator Award at AIMS International, Outstanding Women Researchers Award. She was recognized with the PVANU Service Learning Pioneer Award for 4 years in a row. She also won the Lockheed Martin Award, Excellence for Excellence in Teaching, Excellence in Research, as well as Excellence in Service. She was part of PVANU team proposal to HBCU Library Alliance funded by Andrew Mellon Foundation. A grant was awarded for the proposal of effective information literacy collaboration with university faculty, developing embedded librarians with Mullins idea instructional design model. Dr. Joonas is a member of Association of Collegiate Marketing Educators, ACME, where she served as a secretary, vice president, membership, program chair, president, and past president. She served as a chair of ACME board as well as board member. Further, she served as proceedings editor as well as treasurer of ACME. In addition, she served as at the Federation of Business Discipline as board member. She also served the Academy of Global Business Advancement as conference chair, program chair, and proceedings editor. Dr. Joonas served on the editorial board of International Journal of Health Management and Tourism and the AIMS International Journal, and won Best Editor and Distinguished Service Awards. Further, she serves on the several advisory boards, including AIMS International Journal and Conference on Management, the International Conference on Management and Information Systems, as well as International Conference on Technology and Business Management. In terms of institutional service over the years, Dr. Joonas actively served Fairview A&M University as a member, Service Learning Committee, member of Beautification Committee of University Senate, University Assessment Committee, member of Annual Research Symposium Committee, and member of University Student Research Committee. In addition, she served at the College of Business as chair for Graduate Committee, Assessment Coordinator, and chair of Assurance of Learning Committee. Dr. Joonas brings academia over 20 years of experience in executive industry, primarily of multinational organizations such as Grant Advertising, French drug company Roche Pharmaceuticals, Ogilvy Advertising, Marketing and Research Associates, covering diverse aspects of marketing such as brand management, research consultancy, advertising, and public relations. My God, Kishwar, can you see me?
Yes, Rajul, I can see you. And your voice is clear as a bell.
Thanks. What a transformation, Kishwar, from the girl in the next classroom to Dr. Kishwar Joonas and outstanding achiever. So proud of you, Kishwar. And you are the perfect speaker for the day. Proud of you and proud of your achievements. Over to you, Kishwar.
Thank you very much, Rajul. For a moment, I was wondering who you're talking about. Thank you for the glowing tributes. I appreciate. Good morning, everybody. Today, I will be speaking on changing consumption patterns in a post-COVID-19 world, business rethinks products and services. I represent the Prairie View University from Texas, USA. We are a member of the Texas A&M University system. It is a larger system to which we belong, and I'm very happy to represent them before you today at the Rotary Club of Bombay West. Are you able to see me, please? Mr. Prakash, can you see me?
Yes.
May I give you a thumbs up to go to the next slide? May I give you a thumbs up to go to the next slide?
Kishwar, we can hear you, and Prakash Bhai has noted your request. He will go to the next slide. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. My thanks go for inviting me today to Rotarian Gautam Chande, President, Rotarian Tejas Sura, Secretary, Rotarian Shardul Kulkarni, who has worked very hard with me to make today's presentation a success, and he's chaired programs, Rotarian Deepal Modi of Question Hour, and he will be taking your questions later in the evening. All Rotarians who made today's meeting a success, and especially thanks to my friend Mrs. Rajul Doshi, who I've known for over 50 years, for kindly extending the invitation today for me to address this meeting. Thank you very much. By way of introduction, I would say that today's research presentation speaks to the need for businesses to recognize and to cater to new consumption patterns brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. And I will only speak to the notable trends and responses from business and marketing. There's a lot going on in today's world, and what I've done is I've picked the most important points to present to you today. At the start, I'd like to give a salute to all the women of the world. There's a great contribution of women in every aspect of society. I want to particularly congratulate the Rotarians who have been acknowledged today and who have been felicitated in this meeting. The first point I'd like to speak to is that there's a heavy reliance on artificial intelligence in the post-COVID era. And as you can see from this graph, whether you're looking at IT services or business services, if you look at the worldwide artificial intelligence services forecast by technology category for 2020 to 2024, you find that in both categories, in terms of billions of dollars, there's a remarkable increase in the expenditure on IT and AI. What is the response of business? Let's take a look. So there are several different applications of artificial intelligence in digital marketing, particularly, and you can see these on the screen. I will give you a moment to read them. These include online advertising and so on. So I'm going to give you a few seconds just to take a look at this chart. Moving forward, today, investment cannot be taken for granted anymore. People have lost their jobs, people have lost their livelihoods, they've lost their homes. And in a scenario like this, it is very difficult to expect that there will be a great excitement in the marketplace for making fresh investments. And from this chart, you can see our growth impulses imply that an acceleration is there in the near term, which is already past actually 2021. But when you're looking at 2022, 2023 and onwards to 2024, we find that in every sector, if you're looking at the trend, if you're looking at fiscal, you're looking at wealth effects, the overall trade, reopening, pent-up savings, and you can see the graph line for the impulse total, right? And in all of these areas, you find that there's a very a glim or a very disheartening forecast moving forward. Now, what is the response of business and marketing to this? Let's take a look. One of the ways that people are being enticed to move forward with investments is giving them new and creative options. So for instance, here you have an ad from Investac where they're encouraging you to do self-invested pensions. And they are advertising by saying, take care, take control of your own future. So basically, you're not relying on somebody else to handle your pension plan. And this way, a person feels that they have some level of autonomy in making their own decisions for saving for their own future. So this has been one way of business and industry to respond to entice and encourage people to come in with investments. Here's a very interesting ad. And there's this company called Partner, which says that due diligence should not feel like you're tearing your face out. Due diligence should feel like, you know, the typical example of a dog riding in a fast car with their head and their tongue hanging out a window. And they're enjoying the experience of being out in the freedom and the countryside. And so basically, they're saying that investment should feel good. And if you go with Partner will be helping you to do your due diligence in a very comfortable and nice fashion, right? So these are all different ways in which consumers and others are being enticed to come forward to make investments in the post-COVID era. Today, you will also notice a trend in favor of renting versus ownership. And you can see from this chart, for example, just I've taken the global car rental market, and we're looking at the period 2020 to 2024. And here we can see that the market growth is expected to accelerate by 17%. The incremental growth is 103.75%. And if you're looking at North America alone, it is more than 2/5 of the world growth that is contributed by this region, and that's 43%. And the growth for 2020 was actually 16.5%. So if you look at any area, even if you're looking at housing, if you're looking at pretty much any kind of area where a consumer is faced with an investment versus rental decision, they are now going through with a rental decision. Another example you will see moving forward is that houses are being offered for rent rather than for ownership. And the features that are being touted are a low budget and an assurance of quality. young people, particularly today, are looking at investment in auto as a dead investment, because it is not only the cost of your investment, you're attracting depreciation from the moment that you start rolling your car out of the auto dealership. You have maintenance costs, and all of this for what? To be getting the headache of city and highway driving, to get the headache of maintaining your car, to get the headache of dealing with other ill-tempered drivers on the road. And finally, your car is in use for maybe with like 2 to 4 hours in a day, and the rest of the time your car is either sitting in a garage or sitting in a parking lot. And today most young people would just prefer to have the comfort of renting an Uber, for instance, or a Meru cab or what have you. And they find that definitely your renting is a better option than ownership. Another trend that we see is that the spatial barriers between work and home have become blurred. And in this chart, you can see that as the individual's education level is rising, then they have greater autonomy and they have a greater chance to work from home. On the other hand, the people that are unskilled or semi-skilled labor, they are the ones who are lower educated and they need to go into the workplace. And what is happening is, by going into the workplace, they are putting themselves out to the risk of viral infection from COVID. So what is the response of business and industry to this trend? Let's take a look. So here's an ad which is offering an entire family an annual subscription to Office 365 Home. And you can see there are children here that will be needing to use Office 365 for their schoolwork and homework. You have parents that are having to catch up with their work, and everybody's working from home. So this is an attractive way of responding to this trend on the part of business and marketing. And here it says that you will get a 30% off on your subscription, and you will get a ton of cloud storage to back up your files. And as you can see, there is an action line at the bottom that says buy now, and there's an arrow. So I guess that when you look at this ad online and you click on the arrow, you can go in and register for that plan. Now, if you'll notice at the bottom of this, it also says that the offer is valid to employees of eligible companies only. So the marketer at the same time does not want to take the risk of having people show up that are not going to be able to pay for this service. And so they've been very selective in who they are making the offer to. Here's an ad that speaks to modern comfort that works. And here you can see that a person, and I'll come to this a little later, someone that's semi-casually dressed, wearing jeans, and working from home. So what do they need? They need ergonomic furniture. They need to have a table that they can adjust the height of, so they can either sit and work or they can stand and work. And so all of these things are built into the visual, very powerful visual, and the pun on the word modern comfort that works, because the person is actually working from home. And Nolan Muto has also, you see, this is the unspoken element of the ad. They have built in the fact that when you're working, you will need a lot more light than when you are just relaxing or watching television in the house. So you can see the table is placed by large windows where natural light is coming in. And there's also light above the table. And that's part of the entire ergonomic idea. There's a light on the top of the table so that if the light outside is failing, then the lamp above can be turned on. A lot of people have gone into remodeling their homes, and this has been a very, very special trend during the pandemic and later. People are not only conscious of the fact that they need more comfort and more luxury when they're working from home, and they're saving money on gas, on commuting. So some of that money can be invested back into doing up the house. Also, people have got a little tired of being isolated. And a lot of people, especially some of my friends, they have gone in and extended their patios and got an outdoor furniture so they can do outdoor entertainment, not letting people into the confines of the house, but being able to entertain and enjoy their friends and maintain social distance by remodeling the outside of the house. And this ad is a classic example. A major trend that I'm sure you will also have all noticed is that wardrobes have become a lot more casual during the COVID period. And this survey, as you can see on the screen, people were asked to compare to before the pandemic started. What are you wearing or what are you doing for each of these following items? Are you doing more of it or less now, or about the same as before the pandemic? And you see, the first casualty is wearing makeup. Most people don't have to face up to people in the workplace. And most people do find also there's a cost factor. Most people do find that makeup is an expensive proposition. It's not like clothes that can be dry cleaned or washed and then reused another time. So the first casualty is makeup. The second is wearing business or work clothes. Wearing shoes. A lot of people just want to wear slip-ons or just be barefoot when they're in the house. And in the Indian tradition, typically, we are barefoot in the house. We don't bring the outside dirt into the house with our shoes. Also, a lot of people have begun to wear pajamas during the day, even when they are at work, because nobody can see them on screen. And wearing sweatpants, using athleisure, and wearing shorts. Of course, you can see, particularly even here, this study was done in the US, but even people wearing shorts is a much lower percentage here. So what is the business response to the requirement of the consumer for comfy clothing? And here we have goodbye blazers and welcome comfy clothing. Stores like Under Armour have really gone to town with offering athleisure options over formal options. And people like to wear jeans, they like to wear just t-shirts, and they like to chill out and relax because after all, they're working from home. In the pandemic and later time, you find that there's a deficit of time as well as sleep. And when people are short of time and when they lose sleep, what happens? The big casualty is that they will lose their health. And today, everybody is talking about health issues. People are using, well, on the one hand, they are saving time on the commute to work, but on the other, they are spending time on washing their hands, washing every item that comes into the house, cleaning their countertops, and trying to maintain their hygiene as well as their sanity. So here you can see on the screen, there are 4 separate graphs. One speaks to alcohol consumption during the lockdown. One speaks to diet during the lockdown. One speaks to sleep patterns during the lockdown. And one speaks to physical activity during the lockdown periods. And the measure that we have here is, as you can see off to the side, it is the total mood disruptions. So what this graph is trying to explain to us is that when people during lockdown have more alcohol consumption, they face more of mood disruption. When they are careless about their diet, they face more of mood disruption. And it is the same with lack of sleep, and it is the same with lack of physical activity. Now, business and marketing has to come up with solutions to these trends. So let's take a look at some of those. Many companies have gone to town on sleep-inducing products, and I have some samples up here. You can see the example of Night Through Sleep Aid, and it says that this will give you a good night's rest. You see, people are stressed out, they're facing tension, it is hard for them to actually fall asleep. And this ad even visually expresses to us that when you take this product Night Through, then you will feel like you're sleeping on a cloud, And you can see the very happy expression. You can imagine this person must be seeing sweet dreams. And the background in the back is that there's a full moon night, and it's a very soothing kind of a situation that is illustrated in this ad. Here's another ad that also has to do with a sleep product, and it says, extend your ZZs with ZQuil. And the model of the story of this ad is that if you try to sleep on your own during the pandemic, you may or may not get 3 hours of sleep, but with ZZQuil, you're guaranteed pretty much a sleep of 8 hours that a person normally requires for rest and recuperation. In terms of health issues, Blink Fitness has come up with a very beautiful ad. When I say beautiful, I'm saying in terms of effectiveness, not just the people that are shown in the pictures here. People are reluctant to go out to the gym because they have become out of shape, and they say, well, what will other people think of me? I'm not presentable. And what the Blink Fitness ad is trying to say is that everybody is happy. You come into the gym, you let go of all the other thoughts, you work out, get yourself in shape, and you should be worried more about the end result and how you feel inside and out. That really matters. And this gym, Blink Fitness, keeps everybody happy, right? There's another example over here. A lot of people that do not want to go out and expose themselves and be concerned about social distancing when they go into the gym. Here you have online fitness, and they have offered you a home workout, and you can see everything that they built into it. They have got visuals of people actually very muscular, and they've become like this because of working out. They are offering free online classes. They also have video options. They have an offer here which says join now and get 50% off. They have many different ways. Today's the day of social media. There are many different ways in which a person can log on and register for online fitness. And you can see the icons at the bottom. You've got Twitter and Facebook and all the rest of it. You can also scan a barcode to get in a free class. And they've offered also a 1-month trial membership. So in every which way, they're trying to entice the consumer to come in and register for online fitness. A major trend, you also in your own life, you may have experienced this, that the more screen time you have, the more different websites that you visit, privacy becomes a big matter of concern. There was a survey that asked the question, are you more or less concerned about privacy as a result of contact tracing during the COVID-19 pandemic? So as you're aware, now cell phones have got a built-in application for contact tracing, right? And many people have signed up for this service. As you can see on this chart, no less than 49% of the people surveyed said that they were somewhat more concerned or much more concerned about privacy issues than the pre-COVID era. And we would like to see what is the response of business and industry to this privacy issue. And here you have a very blatant picture of a gentleman that is peeping into somebody else's screen while they are online. And you cannot see the other person. And this is the dramatic element of the advertisement, if you will, where Microsoft is saying that you need to go online, take a survey about how you are surfing the internet. Are you a carefree server? Are you a digital veteran? Or are you someone in between? And if you go in and take a survey as to what are the kinds of websites that you visit, how deep do you go, how often do you go on, how much time do you spend on the internet, they will be able to give you some number as to what is your vulnerability to have your privacy invaded or violated. That's just one example. Another example, and you can see here, there's Windows 10 that claims that they take care of your privacy issues. And instead of showing an adult, they are showing a child actually sticking his nose against a glass window and looking into all the nice toys that his parents could possibly be getting him. And I think this was a very dramatic ad in the sense that instead of using an adult, they're using a child in the visual, and that really is an eyeball getter. An ad from Microsoft UK speaking to privacy controls. And as you can see in the ad on the right, this is a person's public image. And they are very happy to be seen just the way they are, whether they are laughing or joking or with their family, with their friends, enjoying with their pets. That's the picture on the right. That's a public image of a person. But on the left, you see a beach scene, and that person out there on the beach needs their privacy. They don't need anybody peeping and prying into what they're about. And you can see very clearly Facebook, now Meta, is telling us we have all our own privacy settings, and this is something that you deserve, and Facebook offers you privacy controls. By way of mention, we have here with us Mr. and Mrs. Snehal and Savita Parikh. They also go back with me to over 50 years. We were students together in Sydenham College, and Snehal and Savita both have joined here in the Zoom meeting on my invitation. You probably know Mr. Snehal Parikh of Lee and Muirhead, very famous company. I'm sure many of you may also have had some kind of business dealings with them. And I'm thinking of the days that I spent in Sydenham with Snehal, Savita, and also Raju Doshi. And we were taught, and this is a mantra we were taught as soon as we entered college, that the Industrial Revolution spoke to specialization and division of labor. Both of these factors brought about reduction of cost, and there was mass production in anticipation of demand. It was always, to date, if you wake me up at 2 in the morning and ask me this sentence, I will spit it out without making a mistake. Mass production in anticipation of demand. Today, that old norm of mass production and standardization is being brought under question. So this ad is actually depicting a fingerprint. A fingerprint is unique to every individual, and there's this company, BPI branch, that is saying that you need to take a client suitability test when you are investing. So some people are more risk prone, some people are more risk aware, averse. Some people don't care if their investments are down. Some people think that market declines are an opportunity and not a threat. Some people are aggressive investors and some are conservative. Some people want to put into long-term investment and stay there for 10 years and not try to sell those shares in the interim. So this is an example of moving away from standardization. Where are we going? We are going towards personalization and customization for the clientele that we're dealing with. And this is just an example of showing the customer you are unique and we are here to cater to your unique needs. Another example we have is Adidas shoes. And on the left of the screen, you can see that there's a stretchable mesh that is available in several colors. All that a person has to do is to go and click on the color and place an order. This scheme is called Design Your Own, and the shoe will be manufactured, completed, and sent and shipped over to the customer's house. It is as easy as that. So look at the level of customization. And when we think of shoe production, we are thinking of huge factories and sweatshops in Thailand and things like that. But today it's just at the click of a button that you can get any shoe of any design, any color of your choosing. One thing you will notice today is that there is an increase in inclusion and diversity. A survey was conducted which found that younger generations are far more noticing of being represented in advertisements at the time of considering a brand for a purchase. So there were several product categories that were covered, and you can see over here, starting from the left, it is for auto, for travel, apparel and footwear, beauty and personal care, and so on. And if you look at the age difference, right? So if you're looking at 18 to 25-year-olds, which today for most products, these are the prime target audiences. These are the people who are looking more that I should be reflected in the advertisement as who I am if I have to even consider a brand for a purchase. We are not even talking about going through the final purchase. This is just the purchase consideration stage. And younger people, you can see the green bars, the younger people are far more concerned about being reflected in the advertisements at the time of purchase consideration. How do we respond? So today, as sellers, as marketers, we do not have the luxury of picking and choosing our customers. So regardless of a person's ethnicity, their beliefs, their traditions, what nationality they belong to, what culture they belong to, we welcome everybody with open arms. As long as we can get the sale, we are happy. The response example here is Airbnb Super Bowl ad, you know, the great football game that's held at the beginning of February each year. And many manufacturer marketers spend their entire budget on just that one ad during the Super Bowl football game. And these ads don't come for cheap. They run up to $6.5 to $7 million each for a 30-second spot. And this Airbnb ad is showing people of different skin color, different hair color, different eye color, different physical features. And they say, regardless of who you are, we accept you. We will extend our hospitality to you as our customers of Airbnb. Here's an ad from Ikea Denmark. This is a flagship company which sells roomfuls of furniture, and they have gone in with a campaign showing that they have a diversity in their own employment. And although they have a uniform, they tweak that uniform around. And you can see here that everybody can be clearly identified as an IKEA employee. And they have used a pun in the caption, and they've called it the room for diversity. Especially Europe today has a lot of immigrants from Asia, from Far East, from North Africa, and they have been grappling with issues of diversity. And this is their way of telling their customers that, look, our customers can be of any ethnicity or any nationality, and we have our own employees of different ethnicities and different nationalities that are here to cater to your needs. My last point for today's talk will be on social impact, sustainability, climate, and the environment. This is a major trend. Younger people have more faith in government, and they have a stronger desire to give environmental issues at least an equal weight with the economic arguments. So on the left-hand side, you see what is the person's overall satisfaction with authorities handling the requirements of the pandemic. And on the right, you have a belief that environmental issues are at least as important as economic considerations of price, cost, and so on. And for the business person, even for profits. And in both of these, you can see the green bars that represent younger people, that younger people definitely have more faith in government and a stronger desire to not look only at price and money considerations, but also to see that we are being kind to the environment and that we are not violating the integrity of the Earth's physical and natural resources. So let's look at examples of how business and industry have responded to this trend. Here is Fiji spring water, and it has a very attractive caption that says, "Every drop is green." We always think of water as being colorless. And here's somebody telling us that every drop is green, and that is making us think, right? And the argument that Fiji is making is that your Fuji water purchase helps to reduce carbon emissions and to protect Fijian rainforests. It's a very simple ad, very few words. But if you notice at the bottom, there's an action line that is encouraging you to go online and to actually look at all the different ways in which Fiji is actually helping to protect the Earth's environment. Another ad in the same vein is Greenworks. It's a powerful natural cleanser and it has multiple uses. It can be used to clean vessels, to be on countertops, to clean toilets. It's pretty much a one product works for all. And they have also a 15 days trial, and there's the action line to go shop. So these are all different ways in which business and marketing are responding to the trend in favor of social concerns and green marketing. And this is just a message that I would like to share with you all today. Only when the last tree has died and the last river has been poisoned and the last fish has been caught, we will realize that we cannot eat money. Thank you. If there are any questions or comments, I'll be very happy to take them.
Hi, Kishwar. It was a wonderful session, and we have few questions.
Yes.
Start with question number 1. You talked really nicely on imperatives of consumer products and services on B2C segment. So we also want to understand what is the imperative for B2B business.
I'm afraid I cannot hear you very clearly. Is it possible to put up the questions on chat, please, so I can read them off? Is it possible, please?
Yeah, sure. We'll forward the questions.
Yeah, your voice is coming muffled.
Am I audible now? Hi, am I audible now?
Your voice is coming muffled. Is it, there's a chat on this. Is it possible for someone to put the questions up on a chat, please?
Wait a minute.
Would you like to type the questions on the PowerPoint so everyone can see them? That's one option. Yes. Thank you. So the question is, you talked about consumer products nicely. Can you also please talk on imperatives for business to business? I have restricted today's talk primarily to the B2C rather than B2B. I think that would be a very interesting segue and a very interesting talk. Which will have to be done in a comprehensive fashion and which will have to be researched very thoroughly. My talk today has focused mainly on B2C. My specialty is consumer behavior, and most of what I teach speaks to B2C rather than B2B. And I'll be very happy. Maybe next year, if you would like to have me back as a speaker, I can do a B2B for you especially. Thank you. Very interesting question.
My voice audible now, so we can address the question first.
You are audible.
Okay.
Any question?
there's a question which says, what are the imperatives for insurance products? I would say that there is a need to focus on two things. One is, what are the benefits of insurance? And we need to speak to the features of the insurance. We need to link the features with what are the benefits. And each benefit has to be linked with a final end value that is dear to the customer. It should be a life value or an end value of life. Many companies really are advertising in this fashion. Also, I notice many companies, when they deal with insurance products, they use the fear appeal, and it is okay to use the fear appeal to a small extent, but sometimes the insurance providers, they use the fear appeal to an excessive limit, and often the consumer then switches off the ad, they turn the page or they switch off the TV, and they don't want to deal with the fear appeal anymore. And that is counterproductive to selling an insurance product. So that is what I'd have to say about insurance products.
Okay, so this was actually the questions that our audience had for you. Thank you. So they say marketing is never learned in the confinements of the room, but today this group was filled with immense knowledge, learning about the dynamism of consumer behavior in the post-pandemic world. Today, everyone present in this room has gained something valuable, and so, on behalf of Rotary Club of Bombay West, I would like to thank Professor Kishwar for the enriching session she had with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been entirely my pleasure. Thank you.
Secretary's announcement. 13th March, we have the medical camp at our Rotary Medical Center from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Please come in large numbers. 16th March, Ms. Mona Cherian. Mona Cherian is currently the President and Group Head of Human Resources of Thomas Cook India Limited. She is responsible for the strategic leadership, development, employee engagement, and other HR functions at the group level. Topic: we have suggested for management of diversity for optimal productivity. 23rd is a musical night. Please join in large numbers. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming. And a special thanks to Zoran and Kamal for sponsoring the gifts today. Close. Other parents, please join away for a group photograph.